Hi guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'll be taking a look at a load cell kit mod for the Logitech G brake pedal, which is compatible on both consoles and PC. Details are in the description below, including purchasing links. So this kit is from a company called MVH Studios, which designs and 3D prints different mod wheels and accessories for the Logitech G29, G920 and G923. And this load cell kit has a 50 kilogram load cell sensor, which is a perfect upgrade to the Logitech brake pedal to give a more realistic braking experience. So I'll go through the installation process, show you how to calibrate it and test it out to give you an idea of how well it performs, highlighting any pros and cons to give you a better idea on whether it's worth getting or not. But before I begin, if you're new to the channel, hope you can support me by subscribing and hitting the bell icon to get notified of my next release. And if you have any questions, drop me a comment below, or if you already tried this mod kit out, let me know what you think of it. In the packaging, you get a number of different parts consisting of a load cell kit mod with a control box attached, some 3D printed components, a spring and some rubber dampeners. But to note, you will need some tools to do this mod. Now, looking at my Logitech G pedals that came with my Logitech G29, they're made out of stainless steel and consist of an accelerator, clutch and brake, and come mounted on a plastic baseboard. The standard brake pedal you get with the Logitech G29 is the potentiometer based sensor, where the brake works off the distance the pedal travels. The pedal contains a linear spring, which is a lot stiffer and doesn't feel accurate, as the first 50% feels pretty easy, but then when you get past this, it does get a lot stiffer and you do need to use a lot more force. The spring is something I've already replaced in a previous mods video I did, and I replaced it with this spring from MVH Studios, which is a variable pitch spring to improve the braking experience, and it's definitely worth considering to get this in addition to the load cell kit. Now, for those of you wondering what a load cell kit is, it's a sensor that measures the force applied to the brake pedal and is equivalent to how a real brake in a car operates. And this mod is compatible with all Logitech G brake pedals from the Logitech G25 up to the Logitech G923. Installation is straightforward. Remove the metal plate on the brake pedal and flip over the pedals. Underneath there's a panel with silver screws at the top, middle and bottom, holding the panel in place. And then we have the black screws which holds each of the pedals. Begin with removing all these screws, lift off the plate and then lift out the brake pedal. At the side, remove the screw holding one of the cables in place, and then using some pliers, carefully pull out the connectors attached to the potentiometer. The brake pedal will then be completely detached. You can then move the base with the other pedals out of the way and we can work directly on the brake pedal. Let's begin by removing the rear bolt, then pull out the red cylinder. This contains a spring and dampener, and just to highlight, this is the variable pitch spring I previously replaced. And just to show the difference between the original linear spring with the variable spring, you can see how close some of the rings are in comparison. Next, removing the two screws at the side of the pedal, then pull out the black cylinder. You can now move on to removing the bolt holding the front of the pedal and lift it out of the base. Remove the two white fixtures and then loosen the screw at the bottom and remove the plastic piece. To remove the potentiometer, use a screwdriver to remove the clip at the side and then pull it off with pliers. Next, pull off the cog and spring and now loosen the nut holding the potentiometer, then remove it. You can now start upgrading with the load cell mod. Take the pedal and place in the white clips and put the bolt back onto the base of the pedal and tighten. Take the 3D printed base of the load cell and slot it into the back of the base and ensure it sits flush with the base. Now, taking this 3D printed part with a rod on there and insert the original gold tube taken out previously and place that into position and place the fixture onto the brake pedal and screw into place. Then you can add one of the 3 rubber dampeners. I'm going to go for the middle one and place it onto the rod. Then put on the thin spring that came in the packaging, and finally the variable pitch spring. Now take the load cell sensor, place it into position, and there's only one way it can go, so it should sit flush. Now you should have one large 3D printed piece. This fits at the bottom onto the load cell sensor. Slightly push back the spring and insert the rod end into the hole, and then place it over the load cell sensor and bolt it onto the base. Going back to the base of the pedals, you get a cable with connectors in the packaging, and this connects to the existing cables. Match the reds together and clip them together, then the blacks, and finally the yellow to the white. In the kit, you also get a 3D printed cover to protect the connectors and keep them separated. Insert them into the individual slots and then close the lid. The white connector at the end of the cable can then be plugged into control box. Take the cable sleeve and wrap it around the cables coming off the control box. Now we can clip the box containing the cable connectors to the brake pedal and screw down the loose cable onto the side of the pedal. Now feed the control box and pedal back into the case, tidy all the cables into position and place the back plate into position and put all the screws back into place. Flip over the pedals and attach the metal plate onto the brake pedal and stick down the control box, and that's it, you're done. Overall, it wasn't too bad doing this. It did take me a while as I was filming at the same time, but the key thing is to have the tools at hand and go slow. Now that the load cell kit is installed, let me briefly show you how to calibrate it. By default, it's calibrated for the progressive spring. You don't have to do this, but it's nice to have the ability, especially as you can't adjust the settings for the brake on the console. And to note, if you wanted to visually see the impact of the adjustments, it's best to do the calibration via a PC using the game controller's control panel. The process is pretty simple to do. To adjust the dead zone, rotate the trimmer A to the right until you see the bar rising, then rotate it left until the bar just reaches 0. Continue rotating until about 20 to 45 degrees, then press down the pedal to verify the dead zone. You can also adjust the sensitivity depending on how soft you want the brake pedal pressure or how stiff you want it by rotating both A and B trimmers. MVH Studios provides a step-by-step guide on calibration. I'll drop a link in the description if you wanted to see their recommendations. And it's great to have that adjustability, and it gives you the added option to tweak the settings to get the brake pedal to your sweet spot. Now, testing this out, the brake pedal does feel really awesome with the load cell kit. I've set the dead zones and decreased the sensitivity so the brake pedal is a little bit more stiffer, and this is a massive improvement on the pedal. You get an awesome braking experience, making it much more realistic, and I like the fact that you have the ability on the control box to make the adjustments to the brake pedal, but obviously this can only be done on a PC. You could do it without a visual indicator on a PC, but the disadvantage of this is that you'll be doing it blindly as you won't be able to see the impact the adjustments make. But this mod definitely does tick all the boxes and feels like I'm stepping onto a brake with much better control, giving a much more realistic feel when braking. And just to note, this is the only load cell mod that works with Gran Turismo Sport and Gran Turismo 7. The reason for that is that every load cell inverts a signal, which is no problem on a PC as you can invert it in the software, but you can't do that on Gran Turismo. So overall, I'm really impressed with this load cell kit with a 50 kilogram load cell sensor from MVH Studios. Positives wise, it's a pretty straightforward process installing the mod to your Logitech brake pedal, and it works with a PC and console. I like the fact you have the adjustability on the control box, which is really simple to do, allowing you to adjust the dead zones and sensitivity. MVH Studios gives a 1-year warranty with no questions asked, and if you weren't planning on upgrading your entry-level Logitech wheel, this is definitely worth investing in, especially if you wanted to enhance the existing Logitech racing wheel experience. Negatives wise, it isn't cheap, coming in at just under £80, and if you added on the variable pitch spring, it's just under £93. Installation is fiddly but not complex, and I don't like the idea of the control box stuck on at the top. Aesthetically, it just doesn't look that great, but obviously it's been designed like this so it's easily reversible and not voiding your warranty. So there you have it, you've come to the end of another video, and I hope it's helped anyone thinking of purchasing this. Details are in description below, including purchasing links. And if you're still here, drop a load cell in the comments, as it's nice to see who's made it to the end of my video. And if you want to see more Logitech mods, then check out my best mods for the Logitech racing wheel video. You can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook and Twitter. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to be notified of my next release. Thanks for viewing, and see you in the next one.